We can see it. We can see some play around it as well. It is paired with the Xin Zhao, so obviously very good empowering options here for the front line, like we went over last time. But Neo, to me, is definitely an AD carry that you also want to invest heavily in. Neo has, throughout all the iterations of Dignitas that he has been on, been a hard carry for this team. It's done so much work. Him and Aphromoo as a duo. I would kind of like to see, you know, a Lulu Cog once again, from this side. He is very good with his movement from team fights, his spatial awareness as an AD carry to be able to carry a lot of those late game team fights for Dig is one of the big reasons they've been so good at team fighting. And yes, they are facing a Rumble, but the speed really goes a long way. You know, when you get your Xerxes, also with just the inherent buff there from Lulu, to be able to get off of it.
All right, well, phase 2 actually sees Ezreal getting banned. I was maybe even considering it as a pick Neo could have, because it does, of course, help him kite around any equalizers. Thresh was the last pick alongside Leona for the supports here. Also, Varus paired for Raes is kind of cool. We're seeing that more of that champion, now that he's been kind of pushed off the ban bench. But Nocturne ban there. Lee Sin's still up as well, most notably. Both these teams.
But honestly, so I think this is kind of 5-head, because Set, if you're a good Set player, to me is a really good answer into Lee Sin right now.
Right.
Because one of the biggest things about Lee Sin for lane Lee Sin is the range on your E changes so many of these matchups. But Set, if you're in range for the Lee Sin,
oh, let's do
Set
it.
can pull you in, and Set can go throw bows with you in the top lane, and can actually just fight you hard on it. So I kind of like it when leaving that up as the option, since they know that Revenge has to throw down early here. So we'll see if Revenge goes with the Lee Sin option or the Set option here. They know that that's going to be the juggle. So either way will be exciting.
All right, so Samira was the thing I was excited about for Neo, alongside Danny. You know, these kind of younger, more up-and-coming AD carry players from North America. Feeling pretty comfy on the aggressive AD, so Samira is going to be the selection there for Dig. You already said it. He is a hard carry for Dig when he gets going, so see if he can have a performance there worthy of Samira's style. As Lee Sin and Jayce the last 2 picks here, so top Lee for Revenge and mid Jayce for Insanity, almost assuredly given their preferences, but of course they are flexible as well.
Interesting. I would honestly rather see the Lulu into the Lee Sin rather than the Jayce, so it's going to be, we're going to actually have to wait till the last second as far as the lane swapping from Immortals. Oh, they just lock in the Gnar immediately here for FakeGod, whichever one is going to go up there. Honestly, locking in the Gnar, seeing already the possibility that they could swap the Jayce to topside and make Insanity play mid lane Lee Sin is a little risky, because definitely like the Jayce into Gnar matchup for Revenge if they wanted to make that last second swap. But trying to call it there. Yusui on that Lulu. He's in on the LCS, and guess what? You get to buff up Dardoch.
Yeah, I mean, Xin going to be pretty threatening here. Samira, of course, as well. Pretty nice with the wild growth there. Samira, one of the few AD carries that really wants to get in the face of her opponents and spin around. But no swaps here. It is going to be Insanity's Jayce once again. It's Yusui from Akali to Lulu. You know what? If Abadaga can do it, why not Yusui, Kobe?
All right, especially with a team like Dig that are so jungle focused and really do play around that Dardoch and Aphromoo leadership. Looking forward to the early game plan here, because generally for Xin Zhao, trying to play around it early, get some early ganks off. Both of them do have the possibilities of big setups towards the mid lane. You know, Jayce going hammer form, with the extra damage that you can and slows you can bring with Rumble, they can definitely pick him off either way.
All right, we'll have to find out. IMT looking to kind of return to their week 1 form, as Dignitas still feeling pretty comfy, but do you want to try and pick up a win with Yusui being in the roster? Tough matchup yesterday. We'll see how they fare today up against IMT. Both teams looking to bounce back here.
If there is one pro view that I recommend most for this game, it would be Xerxe Rumble. This man has been playing Rumble jungle before it was cool. Back in Season 7, Unicorns of Love, he always brought in a lot of fans because he was looking to branch out and pick these more unique jungle picks. He played Rengar, he played a bunch of Ivern. Definitely a good matchup for Dardoch, who is very versatile as far as the NA scene goes.
Yeah,
so.
this is a jungle matchup we're pretty excited about, actually. It was in some ways the battle of the best Rumble right now in North America. But Dardoch saying, I don't need it. Take it. I got Lulu.
I really was hoping to see, you know, maybe a delayed invade. So we do have 2 swaps over to sweepers, but because they recall, that means there won't be a late invade on Rumble. And every Rumble game, I want to try and preach for it. It definitely depends on your lanes. I mean, your solo lanes are Gnar and Lulu for the opening stages. It's going to be hard to follow up. Bottom lane is the main priority for Dardoch early on. Samira, Leona, Xin Zhao, definitely capable 3-person, volatile options down here. So we'll see if he actually does skip some camps and try and make a play down on bottom side. Already the early trinket ward, and this is only 1 yellow trinket, by the way, for the Immortals bottom side. So this is actually really important for Dig, because this is going to be the bottom side where they want to make the most plays early around Neo, around Aphromoo. So maybe Dardoch does like red into Raptors into blue kind of quadrant and kind of times the expiration of that trinket ward from Immortals. Loud in your ear. That's honestly gonna be insanely annoying. So there we go. They got it fixed.
Alrighty, so here we are. Back we go again. Definitely curious about the level 1, but my goodness, Aphromoo is already in there. 2v2. Don't need no jungler. In fact, maybe Aphro is trying to prime the 2v2 a little, Kobe. Get him low!
And let me say, Pastry, Xin Zhao did skip Krugs. This is not a full clear. Dardoch is going red Raptor blue side. He will be able to get there before Xerxe if he tries to, well, actually, they didn't see them drop that first trinket ward, I don't believe. So it really depends a lot on whether they had the info on the timing of the drop of that trinket ward. But Dardoch definitely looking towards bottom side. You saw the early trade there. It is difficult because it's a cleanse exhaust lane, so even if Aphromoo gets in there, you have to remember on a cleanse target, don't immediately ignite after you're stunned, or else they'll get double value out of it. Here comes Dardoch.
Oh, going in again. Raes already taking so much damage. Samira diving in. They might just do a 2v2. Ignite is down. Cleanse is using Hiccup. Dardoch, baby. Perfect timing out of Dignitas' destiny is going to go down as well.
Ah, pastry time. You know, I do dislike pauses, but because the pause allowed us to talk through the exact play out of the beginning of this game, I'm not even mad. Dignitas, flawless execution there. Drew it up in the screen. Now we got mid lane continuation.
Oh, very nice hammer back, but Yusui's still going. Nice glitter lance. Does slow down Insanity, but no kills forthcoming. It is TP, of course, in the mid for Yusui, so not nearly as much pressure, but Dardoch, just such a good setup by Dig here.
And it's all in the timings, Pastry. That's why, you know, talking through it straight from Champ Select, you're like, this is all around timings on your bounce back. And they do have the ward here expiring, but it is on 4 camp, double buff bottom. Just go for the engage. Aphromoo layering very well there around the cleanse too. I'm just so happy that they were able to get that off, because you know Rumble is trying to do full clear, efficiency clear, and it's around how cautious can you be for your bottom side, respecting the Xin Zhao threat.
All right, well, very nicely set up by both Dignitas and Kobe. Galaxy Brain once again coming through his revenge. Dueling FakeGod right now, feeling pretty comfy in his 1v1. Plenty of mobility here for the lead to kind of dance around the Gnar, but of course mini Gnar could be annoying. Bottom side still going well in the CS department for Raes, which is good, but that's not going to last too long, as Neo's going to finish farming out the waves that are getting pushed in. And of course, that kill god he's gotten with 1 kill and 1 assist is more than enough compensation.
Yeah, this is definitely the ideal start for Dignitas. You've got Neo here, extremely fed, and Sanity also had, like, even though it was a very quick gank from Dardoch mid, you know, a decent chunk onto a Jayce when they're playing the sustain game. You see 2 corrupting potion charges and 2 biscuits, so shouldn't be too difficult for Insanity to heal right back up, but no like deep wards around mid. It's just very, very cautious control ward there, very shallow kind of river brush wards there for him. And honestly, it is going to be a lot more focused towards the dragon and towards setting up some defense for the bottom side. Now that Raes and Destiny are summoner spellless, they are very, very vulnerable targets.
Well, Xerxe also covering the push, maybe thinking Dardoch was going to wrap around again. Does get the info as well, invading the jungle.
Okay.
FakeGod, look at a 1v1 revenge in the top lane, forcing that flash solo there.
There you go, FakeGod back on Gnar, one of the champions he has consistently throughout his career, had highlight plays on for this organization. Gets a solo flash out of revenge there. Very respectable cooldown lead on the Lee Sin. Going to remove some of that playmaking and gets the early recall off for his steel caps. Yes, Xerxe is Rumble, and so steel caps don't help you there, but Xerxe is going to have to pay attention to bottom lane so much because there's no summoner spells there. So your Rumble is probably not going to be the biggest threat, and the early value from steel caps is definitely going to be big there, as Jayce would be the other one that would possibly combine with Revenge on top side. So definitely looks to be another very consistent opening, I feel like.
Yeah, Dig actually up like 1,000 gold, which in this early game is really nice. Insanity again trying to get aggressive, but Dardoch is the one waiting in the wings for Dignitas. So Insanity just like Jayce, usually a kind of champion that bullies people around, at least pushes you in often, right, in the early stages. But not Lulu. Lulu's just glitter lancing the wave and annoying you.
Yep, dodging shock blasts, no problem here. So Yusui has a pretty easy life. His Xin Zhao that he's trying to buff up did get the completion of both kills on bottom side, so a really good conversion for Dignitas early on, allowing them to play off that synergy. He is also going the Divine Sunder build, which I actually really like. It's kind of the medium ground where, because this item had such significant buffs, it both provides you with the defensive bruiser capabilities with the cooldown reduction, with the extra health inherent in the item, and the sustain off healing in addition to your passive sustain was in, but it also does significant chunks. Like the Sheen procs with the percentage max health damage are very, very significant. Add up so quickly with a champ like Xin Zhao that has an attack speed steroid of his own, plus a Lulu attack speed steroid. Being able to just chase people down. So definitely some good synergy built up here. You already see early investment in more cooldown reduction from the cooldown reduction rush in boots from Yusui. This also provides Lulu with the extra movement speed to be able to follow around your Xin Zhao. Any sort of roam plays, they can look for these early dragons. Really do expect Dignitas, especially with the early kills for their bottom lane, to try and at least fight Immortals on that. Immortals are starting it really early, though, with the vision advantage through River. They invest control ward up towards mid and towards bottom side. They do not want to give hold here on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, already back to pushing in the 2v2 for Raes and Destiny. Both Dardoch and Aphromoo have actually been wandering around a little bit together, trying to clear some vision out and see who might be lurking in this bottom side river, but no dragon started just yet. Neo with a lot of solo time here on the Samira, but did spend that money finally after taking a reset. So despite, again, that CS differential, Neo is going to be just fine, if not ahead, as FakeGod is just perma pushing revenge here in the top side as well. Counter pick working out nicely here early on for FakeGod.
Certainly is. Able to keep some tower pressure up. Turret plate knocked off as well. Always feels so nice. Yes, the flash is, close to coming back up now. Dardoch was not really ever going to focus on the top side of the map, invest more resources there, but knowing that you were able to burn that solo does remove some threat for possible counterplay there, and their own play. So control wards down through the entire river here. Line of scrimmage for Dignitas.
Yeah, Digga definitely doing all the work to try and take this dragon, so I imagine they'll be moving on that objective soon. TP for revenge. I feel like all but seals this dragon, although FakeGod may be forced to use this in a second because revenge. They're going to kick him down. The solo kill. This time it's on his shoes as FakeGod will flash this time.
And I think that's going to be a pretty sizable force here. You see Xerxe threatening for an invade. He actually calls it off. They know he's got teleport, and Revenge just used his. So there's not going to be a very wide window, and it's just going to be FakeGod teleporting back, looking for Mega and Xin Zhao on top.
Yeah, Dardoch's here as well. One of the few times he's actually going to be here by the sounds of things. 2v2, they're brewing. Good little dodge there for Raes up top, so Zenith Blade doesn't connect. And now Destiny Looking for the same, but does not connect on either. Neo just barely sidestepping that as Destiny gets a little field goal there. In the bottom side, it's a single in AFL for anyone playing at home. Dardoch also starting the Rift Herald up here. So should be able to take this one out with no contest. There is more than enough pressure with FakeGod coming down to help out.
Yeah, Rift Herald does take a significant time investment though, so only down to 4K health now. They're going to need another eyeball proc at least.
The Pineapples, Kobe. Xerxe with the ulti ready to go. Have to be careful here as it is a 3v3 right now. Revenge no kick, but does have
Bottom
flash. Dardoch going in. Dignitas want this one. As you mentioned, Aphromoo is already in mid lane, so Dig will take it.
And it's just a hover bottom lane. So Dignitas do threaten with sending Samira halfway up, but Samira should be able to get right back to bottom side before the wave crashes. And this is the strong evolution of these Rift Herald plays. You work off of your top side pressure, then you only have to hover. And just the threat of Samira going is going to be enough. Raes.
Oh, Neo, look at the solo kill. He flashed the ulti as well, I think.
Yep.
But Raes gets out of there with a flash of his own.
Is going to be traded back for the Dragon in the end. Raes respecting it there as they do trade flashes. Is going to be exciting. Remember that the Rift Herald is in the hands of Dardoch, so they might try and go for the follow-up on Revenge. He's had time for his flash to come back up, so it might be a bit tricky to actually pin him down, but they can certainly get significant damage done to the tower.
All right, well, Dardoch is up here, as you mentioned. Already with the Herald if he wants to use it. FakeGod has been continually pushing.
It's mini, it's exhausted mini. Oh, FakeGod, let him hit that Q. If you let him hit that Q, it probably baits him in.
All right, well now he knows because the Rift Herald has been channeled, but this is good. That's the plate money that FakeGod wants. It's an easy spot for Dardoch to quickly drop that so FakeGod can collect the gold. And now Dardoch can go back home, spend his money, get the Divine Sunder actually now finished. And FakeGod collects the plate. So really efficient stuff there for Dignitas. Still building on this gold lead. Up almost 2,000 gold at this point. Very nice early game from them.
Interesting too, though, giving up the early dragon on the back half of that bottom play, and Raes and Destiny again being able to push in for another turret plate this game. You know, this is one of the reasons why Varus and Thresh are so highly prized. Extremely strong early push as well, and this is with a successful bottom lane game. Remember, this is with both summoners on both bottom lane players from Immortals being burned because of the gank timing from Dardoch early on, and the pressure of the all-in lane from Dig. Even with all of that, they still have so much pressure in lane with the harassment of Varus and the safety of Thresh, allowing them to, you know, push it back out.
And again, that poke Samira so short range. Going to be tough to feel like you're kept out constantly by Varus, especially because Aphromoo has been out of lane so often as Dardoch has set up a little store here in the river, hoping for a customer to walk on in. But no one taking it just yet as Dardoch will clear this ward and take the Grump. And Dignitas will continue playing a good early game, but again, not rushing things here. It feels like the pace is very deliberately chosen here on the Dig side.
And it's interesting here from Immortals side because they're so heavily invested in long-range damage. You know, with the Jayce pickup, early lethality investment there, Raes as well, early lethality on the Varus. Dignitas, if they can make one of these big plays right before the objective, it takes away a lot of that viability.
All right, here goes Dardoch again, but the equalizer is down. Dardoch is on top of it. Neo just goes in and assassinates Raes. Now going to look to spin around. Insanity triggers popped. And Dardoch goes in looking for the dive. Destiny with a wonderful stopwatch, but it's not going to save him for too much longer as now Xerxe overheated, looking to try and take the Drake over Dardoch. But it's a triple kill out of Neo, Kobe.
Can't poke me if you're dead. And Dignitas again, another play off the bottom side. Playing off of Aphromoo's Leona. Dig, make it count. Huge, huge play again. This is going to be so much damage, if not the entire turret for Neo here. Chopping this sucker down. 4 kills on the Samira. This is going to be a huge snowball for Dignitas.
And I thought Xerxe was here ready with the counter gank, but Dig just go all in the bottom side.
I actually really like the play around the lantern there. You know, he doesn't take it immediately as Aphromoo is trying to predict the Lantern take to land the Zenith Blade between it, but then he just walks up and gets the Summoner spells out there. Dardoch, no hesitation, dives right in. This one's close. That's a little bit of a clencher. Samira is able to dash in for the extra damage to finish it off, make sure Xerxe doesn't get the counter kill for himself, but it is just a wash on the bottom side of the map here for Dig. It is just skirmish victory after skirmish victory here for Dignitas. And that one had just twofold rewards because of the first tower bonus for Dig. This gold lead just balloons out of control. And since their composition is so much more tanky, is just so much more hardy, if your damage dealers are getting an early influx of gold with 4 kills now onto the Samira, it makes it very easy to kind of walk up and just force these plays on your opponents. You've got Leona, you've got the Gnar, you know, FakeGod fully charged up on the Rage Bar right now and has teleport available, so this is a reason you can see Dignitas hard flex into the jungle, power play here. During this window, Immortals just have to give ground.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for, you know, better distribution to build on your early game that Dardoch had, you know, from the level 1 that we did get to outline. It's 4-0-1 for Neo. A bit of extra gold there for Dardoch with the kills on Aphro, of course, with the perfect score for support. 0-0-5 as he's in there onto Raes. My goodness, man. As Aphro's going to get comboed back in on, he gets out of there, and Neo, he's going to have to go all in. He does get the kill, but a huge amount of gold given over as a result, and Dardoch, he's still chasing Insanity's the target. Over the wall he goes. Lulu Wild Growth is just coming off, and this one is revenge. Will get away. IMT, they get one back, but Dig were not backing away from that one.
Oh, they brute forced it all right. They may be tanky, but that tower dive definitely left a mark. 2 for 2 in the end. Dignitas will still claim the rewards off the bottom side of the map, but what a game over that wall, hopping it 3 times, does result in Dragon number 1 there for Dignitas and the follow through on his execution. Here's a look at it though. Aphromoo ults and flashes over. Raes had a good Prowler's Claw to gain distance, then flashes away, and they just flip Neo right into that tower. Dardoch then is taking a bunch of tower shots, and as they jump over into the Raptor pit, they can force Revenge back out on the other side with the huge health advantage. They still pick up the Dragon, you know, retaining their smite, retaining their jungler's life, but did give some of that cash over to the side of Immortals, and Immortals, you know, happy to get something for themselves. They're still trying to group up to make use of, you know, their Jayce into Varus, early lethality kind of poke here, and when you combine that with a Rumble ultimate, whether you use Rumble ultimate to slow them to allow you to hit the skill shots, or you use it as follow-up, as super long range, the idea is the same. You're trying to use your poke before Dig can get these flank angles and get this hard engage. The problem is that Dig have actually, with this early lead, been given the options to run just straight at you, and they actually don't need you know, a flank angle. They can just run straight at your face to go for the engage, right into your poke, into your damage, and kind of take away your timing that way.
Yes, the classic front flank, the one everyone always forgets. I mean, yeah, just battle songing with a Lulu, whimsied up. Wild Growth gets popped. Dardoch's having a field day. 2-0-5 right now. Divine Sunder finished item number 2, approaching relatively quickly, but Neo, man, that death costly as he gives extra gold over to Raes, but still a ridiculously good threat on the Dig side here as Yusui is swapped to top side for a little while longer. Just going to be pushing in the old Lee Sin.
They might be kicking themselves a little later as these Varus arrows and shock blasts start to hurt. The Manamune is just completed, so Raes still working on stacking that one. But that's really the point of pain. And once you get that completed, if they're able to land a few of these before the objective starts up, that's where Immortals try and claw their way back into this. Dignitas, though, should be able to finish up on the outer towers. Mid lane goes down quite quickly. Top side is so low already that you can easily transition your pressure over. Should be a quick pickup, by the way, on Collector. There you go. Neo completes his Collector for Samira. Love that cash in. Affords for the most epic of Samira ultimates, trying to get all of the last hits and set up those pentas.
I think the Dardoch Spidey sense kicked in at just the right moment, because Revenge knew he was there. Dardoch already invaded for vision as Yusui was pushing in the top side, but I think with how forward Revenge was playing, Dardoch's like, wait a second, I shouldn't go down here because I can't see anyone else from IMT on the map right now. There were, I think, 4 people in the top side for IMT looking to maybe try and find a straggler But unfortunately, no pickup there for Dig, as they will finish off the outer tower sooner rather than later, as Ardent Sensor has been purged up by Yusui. He is committing to the cause of buffing up the jungler and AD carry.
Yes, sir. No other reason to pick this champion. Don't show me a Luden's Lulu. I'm going to get really mad, PastryTime. They've got the Shurelya's Ardent combination. This is where Dig get to push it ahead, speed up Xin Zhao and Gnar and Leona, get that brute force engage, find your front flank, as we've termed, I guess, right into the enemy team. Aphromoo, you need damage behind you, though.
Get hooked up, Neo's here.
A little bit aggressive.
Oh, Insanity just gets picked up there. Dardoch again with the Lulu in the back pocket, just charges in, gets an easy pickup there. And even though Aphro and Neo were scuffling with the enemy in their own jungle, Dig will still push through here and take the tower.
All right, there you go. One Shurelya is active, one dead opponent. Insanity's flash was not up quite yet, barely coming off of cooldown now. But the power of the Lulu, Xin Zhao, speed him up, you guarantee that engage, and now it's just easy picking.
Oh, Flash got the stun though, buffing the auto through. There's good box action from Destiny, will disengage the rest of the fight, but you can tell Dig, every angle looks good right now. Waiting for the cooldown, see Yusui's ulti cooling down pretty swiftly. Also, they can run FakeGoding, which is fun. Gnar sometimes has trouble getting involved. So FakeGod can zoom in there alongside the rest of his friends in the mega form. Not recommended in the mini form unless you're very close to transforming. Dragon also up in 20 seconds. IMT will be first to the table to try and look for that objective.
It's so hard to play these types of comps, though, for Immortals while you're behind. In these sorts of situations, maybe you actually have to just start increasing your risk tolerance, because if you don't start to get some money back in this game right now, then Dignitas are just going to continue to steamroll objective after objective, take everything off this map, and you never get a chance to group up and find your poke first. So if you don't establish your own pockets of Fog of War with your control wards through your jungle in spots where you know Dig are going to go, and try and create your own comeback, it's very hard for the comeback to kind of be fed to you. The only way that really happens is if there is an insanely fumbled tower dive from Dig, which, you know, is the very risk-averse way to go about it. You just kind of huddle at your tower until you hope for your opponents to make that big mistake, and then when you get your gold, you try and take your opportunity to strike.
I mean, see what IMT can do. Certainly is tricky. First thing is going to be, of course, getting vision here and sticking together, trying to, again, pick off what you can. The map's pretty small for them right now is the other trouble. Only one tower taken versus the nice open outer towers being felled there for Dig means that there's not nearly enough space for IMT to find pick and or poke. I mean, Xerxe is getting going. Everyone's got their Mythic online here for IMT.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as these two Manamunes transform, that's really the only thing that they're waiting on. As soon as you get those Muramana transformations, then your Shock Blast, Varus, Arrow, Rumble Ultimate, super long range, can actually kill someone. You know, then your accuracy with your skill shots really does have a lasting effect. As of right now, they kind of got pea shooters. They're just throwing pea shooters at Dig, and Dignitas have such a gold lead and so many ways to find their engage that the risk versus reward just isn't there for Immortals at the moment. So they're kind of forced into this. We got a turtle. Hold on to some vision that we can. Maybe we get somebody, you know, opening up a mistake and caught a stray. But there's one transformation, so one more to go here.
Steric's on as well for Dardoch, so a little bit tankier. As we kind of mentioned, you know, even if you do huddle at your tower, Dignitas probably going to bust through the front door here. So many tools for them to get aggressive.
The other thing is that Dig have a very good turn off of Baron. So they don't sustain a lot of damage by starting it up. Because you have so much attack speed on Xin Zhao, you can just continually heal on your passive. But they also have Leona and Gnar. So their turn is amazing. They're just trying to bait out Immortals, look for the big flank.
We'll get the TP out of Revenge. But now Dardoch's going in there. Now the TP flank's coming in for Dig there as Aphro dives straight in with a Zenith Blade. Got the stun on Revenge. But he needs to get out of there pretty safely. Can't get it as Xerxe does get through now. FakeGod. Stride breakering in. Raes going to be slain by Dardoch on the other side. It's Neo. He's the one diving in, looking to try and build up them style points. And now FakeGod goes mega, finally trying to find something. Revenge going to get slowed. Not into the wall. Wallop follows up. Neo's going to find it, but doesn't have enough damage.
Mistiming here for Dignitas. The teleport is a little late, or the turn is a little early. FakeGod, the channeling not completed there for Gnar as Dardoch and Aphromoo go in, and so Aphro is chunked down and killed before they even get there. Still turning on the Baron though.
Yeah, again, 5v2 right now, just Insanity and Revenge, so not even a smite here to threaten. Dardoch smite's cooling off. Here's Destiny doing Xerxe with the reinforcements, and now Dig want to turn. They knew that was the plan, likely all along. But Dignitas will be pushed off Baron, and Dig will pick up no more extra kills and less Revenge. Can he zip his way out of here? He is Lee Sin. Dardoch still chasing. No, there's a smite down from Dardoch. Oh, he's in there. Play from Destiny to try and protect him. Ulti out, exhaust down. Xerxe now going to go on the backside, but Neo's going to dive in with the rest of the squad. But Samira so low, dives to Insanity. Dardoch, though, still alive now. FakeGod diving in. And Dignitas throw their AD carry to the walls and get almost an ace. In fact, it is an ace.
Dardoch is healing under the tower. PastryTime with the Xerxe shield, with the Divine Sunder. Brox with the Lulu shields on him. He can't be stopped.
And the front flank continues for Dignitas. The bot lane ace is collected, and they bust straight through the middle here. Going to take at least the inhib off the table. Maybe run back to Baron, maybe reset, doesn't really matter. Dignitas so far ahead now, 7,000 gold up against IMT.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Dardoch is just playing this with so much confidence because he's got the Lulu behind him. He knows, into 4 people, even gets exhausted, really good ultimate to knock 2 back. Doesn't take much damage for the Rumble ultimate, then dives under the turret, tanks the whole thing. Xerxe shield. FakeGod's able to get a massive Gnar ultimate into the side of the wall. Actually just insane right there.
And again, Dig understanding what their comp can do. One of the most fun things about this team is their team fighting, and also just how willing they are to take fights. They know they can't just sit around, let the game go on, and when you have this kind of lead, definitely no reason to sit on your hands as FakeGod, Stride Breakers in, into the wall we go. Oh, it's just a full combo. Raes finally gets out of the Prowler's Claw, but it doesn't matter. Yusui able to nab his second kill of the game. The man has 13 Magi stacks. We've gone all the way back to full Enchanter.
Keep on stacking them up, Yusui. This is the position you love to be in for Lulu. Just all power to Dignitas. These towers will melt. Yeah, Immortals can get some side turrets for themselves, but it's just going to be another dive.
I can hear them calling. Aphromoo getting in there. Onto Xerxe goes. Neo grabs the kill as Dignitas descend. Once again, FakeGod ulti is like almost back up as the Transformer's getting close. They'll take 2 inhibs now as they break down the bottom side. And Dignitas just unrelenting this game.
Brute force, name of the game, Pastry. Just get on in there. 16 kills,
he's doing it again. Good kick by Revenge. Gets him out of there. Yusui, the wrong one to be taking the tower. Does shield himself. FakeGod shoves them back. Dardoch once again is in there. Pops the ulti though, now maybe running a little low on health. But over we go. Aphromoo not quite into the fountain, and Dignitas there just not stopping. They're going to grab 1 tower, they're going to grab 2. It's going to be it all here for Dig. Immortals trying to get them off the exit, but they've got nothing as Neo grabbed himself a double to end the game, and Dignitas take a bow. A very stylish end of that game.
Yeah, definitely a big smile on Dardoch's face. Xin Zhao, you get your first gank, successful double kill on the bottom side of the map, knowing you also have a Lulu mid lane for late game in your pocket. Then the second play on bottom side as well, bringing in the rest of the team. 3 kills plus the tower off of that. It's just dream scenario right there. Living the Xin Zhao dream.
Yeah, that's the kind of game you want to play when you pick Xin Zhao Lulu. That's Dignitas looking real good. Yusui, calling off for a game. Had the Akali game on the Lulu this time, but the strategy works beautifully there for Dig from minute 1.
Very solid stuff, from FakeGod on the top side as well. I mean, yes, you are on an island, but he picks his Gnar into the Lee Sin. He's burning summoner spells by himself, able to join in, and with the commotion that Xin Zhao Lulu calls and all the focus of everyone into the grouping on that champion in the middle, it opens up for these big Gnar ultimates, and all of a sudden everybody's grouped up right next to the wall. Boom! Hit them all with the big stun. So great stuff there from Dig, able to effectively snowball. Good early game plan. They played off it. Yes, there was a